regardless of your family history or genetics. You are not destined to have a heart attack just because your family members have. You are not doomed just because your cholesterol is high. Your diet, lifestyle, and behaviors are much more impactful on your risk. And you know what? It is never, ever, ever too late to adopt a healthier lifestyle. No matter what, it can only serve to lessen your risk of a heart attack. So I think it's really critical to look at this because, you know, most people immediately start talking about their family members when they are telling you about their medical status. I do one-on-one consultations with women all over the world. I do them by video conferencing. Anyone living anywhere can have a consultation with me. And I invite the women to submit as much information about themselves as they'd like for their consultation. And what I do is I take all their personal information and I weave it into the basic science and basic education on menopause that I give everyone who has a consultation with me. So I give them all this information, but with the personal information they give me, I put it into perspective and I tailor the actual scientific information to the woman herself. And what happens is when I get these reams and reams of pages of information from women, sometimes I find it absolutely shocking that they write 3 times more about their family than they do about themselves. And that's very telling. And it's almost like, you know, they're comparing their menopause to their mothers and everything about their mother and father and their great-grandparents. And I mean, they tell me things about relatives that don't matter at all, that have no bearing, that really don't need to be mentioned any at all whatsoever. But it just goes to show you how much emphasis people do place on their families. And when it comes to your family and a heart attack, that can be a huge, huge mistake because other than the things that you share with your family in terms of diet, lifestyle, exercise habits, and the like, your genes do not dictate anything. And so take a look at your family. Take a look at how you spend time together. Take a look at what you all enjoy as a group, probably because of familiarity and just having practiced things similarly in your home life. Take a look at those things. Do they set you up for a heart attack, or do they keep you from possibly having a heart attack? And, you know, if you happen to have a situation where your family encourages you or, you know, puts you in positions where you are going to increase your heart attack risk, think long and hard about that and decide how to modify that kind of situation, really, so that you lower your heart attack risks. I mean, you can be the only vegan in your family. You can be the only person in your family who doesn't eat the dessert. You can be the person who comes to Thanksgiving dinner and brings your tofu or your green vegetables or whatever you need to have the lifestyle you want, regardless of what your family chooses. And, you know, unfortunately, sometimes families kind of badger each other and kind of try to encourage each other to be similar, even though it may not be the healthiest thing to do. Just be aware of that. Be aware that that can happen in families, that there's a lot of peer pressure within families, actually. And if you have a family situation where any aspect of your family situation is not conducive to your general health or to your heart attack risk, then change that particular behavior. Don't do that particular activity with your family. Suggest something different. Bring food that works for you and offer everyone else to try some of the same food you're eating, even if they turn their noses up at it and don't want it. The big message is to make sure that you absolutely understand that you're the one who's going to have to live with your heart attack if you have one. I mean, the family will probably be supportive and, you know, empathetic and sympathetic and all that, but would you rather have all that, or would you rather just avoid the heart attack in the first place? It's definitely possible. I know a person who came from a fat family, and literally his whole family, everybody was always fat. And as a fairly young person, he just decided he didn't want to turn out that way. And he went into the fitness industry and became an exercise instructor, a personal trainer, and became all about fitness, ran marathons and everything, and is one of the fittest people I know. Very healthy, has very low cholesterol and low risk for heart attack. And yet he comes from a family where everybody is morbidly obese, and they've had multiple heart attacks, multiple medical problems, everything related to obesity and high blood pressure and everything that goes with that profile. And he just saw that he didn't want to be like that. So do not let your family dictate your destiny. You have so much control. And one of the underlying messages here is that genes are genes. I mean, yeah, they are like a template, but there's a thing called epigenetics in which you have the power to change whether or not your genes manifest. So your genes are like the template. They're like the loaded gun, but whether or not you pull the trigger, that's your behavior, that's your lifestyle, that's all the choices you make for your life. So be sure that you're aware of the fact that you have tremendous control over whether or not you have a heart attack. And I really am a believer that in general, we create most of our own diseases by how we live, all of us. I mean, there are a few that you have no control over, but the vast majority are ones that you have control over. So I urge you to go to my website, which is menopausetailor.me. And there you will see that I have a book, and the book, these podcasts follow the book. I mean, you will find all the things I talk about in these podcasts in the book. And so you can get my book. I have the entire education in the form of a DVD, a set of 2, which is about 12 hours long, and you get the whole education in 12 hours in the comfort of your own home. Alternatively, if you don't own a DVD player anymore, I have the whole education as a set of 15 webinars. You can buy those and watch those in order. You get the whole education all at once. Alternatively, you can go to my YouTube channel, which is Menopause Tailor, and YouTube videos come out once a week. There are tons of them. They need to be watched in order, and I cover every little thing, and I have all these fun props and models, and I show you all kinds of things. You'll be laughing and entertained and rolling because it's very entertaining. And I do one-on-one consultations, and you can schedule a one-on-one consultation anywhere, and I will tailor everything to you. And if you are at high risk for a heart attack based on your family history, a consultation is definitely the way to go. Schedule a consultation, and I will help you navigate all of your options. I will help you tailor all of the options to your particular situation. We'll be very realistic with what will and will not work for you, with what you will and will not do. I'm not judgmental. I'm not there to pass judgment on you. I just meet you where you are and help you deal with your reality and help you make great choices for your particular situation. So I think that a consultation is the quickest, easiest, straightforward way to get everything you need, the whole education and everything tailored to you. So if that sounds appealing to you in any way, go to menopausetailor.me. That's my website. And schedule a consultation or take advantage of any other things that are on my website. I urge you to get this education no matter what. Make sure you share it with as many women as you can possibly share it with. You will be saving their lives. And I hope you come back for my next podcast when I talk about how to know if you're at risk for a heart attack, and I give you all the risk factors. So, talk to you then.